Shalom, welcome back. Now we're going to be learning about vowels. Vowels, as we're going to see here, there are different types of vowels, but the interesting thing is there's only about 5 vowel sounds that you're going to hear. You're going to hear in Hebrew a, e, u, o, e, and our 6th one is kind of our special one. It's not really a vowel, it's more of a sound that has to be made, and that's I. Okay? So in reality we have 5 vowel sounds, and we have kind of a special one, which is the I sound. So you look at this and you're thinking, that's a lot of vowels compared to what you showed me in your hand, alright? Well, we're going to learn these and we're going to understand the interesting importance of these things, okay? So you're going to find we have basically 3 vowel sounds here that sound the same. 1 vowel sound here. 2 vowel sounds that sound the same. 2 vowel sounds for here. 2 for here. 1 here. And then we have what we call the short vowels. Okay? Now, this sound, this is a kamatz. A kamatz makes an ah sound. And this is a patach. A patach makes an ah sound. Now, you might say, why do you have 2 different vowels, but they make the same sound? I mean, wouldn't it just be easier just to have 1 vowel and that's it? Well, this is where we have to understand something here, okay? The Masoretic, obviously, when they sat down and they thought about this, they thought of, well, we got to do something here. We have, for example, a verb, amar, which means said. Well, what if the person's name was using the same root and the same vowels, and you would also pronounce it amar? What do? Well, they would say, well, we'll make this distinct. Instead of it written with a patach here, we'll write it with a kamatz. And therefore, this will be identified that this is a specific name, and it's related to this root, obviously, because the roots are here. But the vowels are going to be different because we don't want a person to think that this is a verb. And so therefore, they changed the vowel look so that it would change the meaning, knowing the fact this is a name, rather than the actual verb. So it's kind of an interesting thing to note, the fact that this is kind of the uniqueness as to why we see the different vowels that we have when we actually only need, 5, and 1 I said is a kind of a special vowel sound. Okay? So here we have, as we go on, we're going to look on here, we have hirik, which is an E sound. Hirik, E. We have the tsere, which is an E sound. E. And then we have a tsere mele. Tsere mele means we have a yud that happens after the tsere. This is what's called a full tsere. So this e, you see, has the yud. Typically, this is how it should look, but this is what we call doesn't look full. It's kind of it's a smaller condensed version. It's a lacking version. All right. So if we have a tsere, it really should be a tsere mele, but here we see the tsere written, but we have to know it's the e sound, so that's why it's written here. Then we have the segul, which is the 3, it makes an e sound as well. So we have 3 different e sounds, and we find that this can be combined at different times as to a noun that needs to be used or somewhat. And this is important to know, just the sound, so that when you see it, you definitely know it's eh, okay? And this is, here we have the kibbutz. This is the u sound, u. And this is the kibbutz mele. And this is the kibbutz mele is the u, the full u. So you don't say vu, because the vav, you say u. The vav is like basically silent, and you're making it into the u sound. And then we have the holam. The holam is the o sound, o, alright? And here's the holam mele, which is the full. So we don't say vo, we say o. The vav here and here, it's like as if they're not there, okay? You're just making the o sound. And then we have our last one. This is the one that it's important to understand because this has to do with the fact of its connection to how it is to pronounce with the yud. And that's when we have the ah sound. And here the ah sound, when we get it connected to the yud, it makes the I sound. So this is I in the sounding. And then we have what's called, these are the short vowel sounds. We have full vowel sounds, which is all of these we have here, and we have the short vowel sounds, which is here. So we have the a, and e. Okay? So we have a, which is the short vowel sound. The a, this is the kamatz, right? Kamatz kataf. This is petach kataf. And this is the Segal kataf. And so we have a, e. So let's kind of get an idea of how it is that we're going to be looking at vowels. Vowel sounds always go first consonant, then the vowel. So if I put, for example, aleph, the aleph sound, because it's silent, it actually had a guttural sound. I'm actually ein and aleph, which were two silent letters now, actually had kind of a guttural stoppage sound. We just pronounce ah instead. And the reason for it is because we're saying the aleph is kind of silent now. We don't really know how to do it. If you're Yemenite, you would. If you're definitely Sephardic and you've lived in the Middle East, you definitely would, because it's very much connected to what you would hear specifically spoken of with Arabic. Arabic and Yemenites, they know how to pronounce it because of the being in the Middle East and being able to utilize it still. But here, you would just go ah. So if I use a different consonant, for example, if I did with a bet, and a bet, remember, has a dot in the middle. A vet doesn't have the dot. So a bet is b, and then ah, so it's ba. Okay? So it's kind of like how in English, when you have, for example, the consonant and then the vowel, ba, right? We're doing it from top to bottom instead of from left to right. So ba is how you would pronounce this. So if you're taking any of your vowel sounds, and you have to use the proper vowel sounds that we have listed here, okay? And you have to learn, remember that these are on the bottom of the consonants. So if I have a lamed here, I go from l to a to make it la. So that's how we're going to be vowelizing, and that's how we're going to be vocalizing. So we're going to vocalize using first the consonant, then we have lastly the vowel. The only special case of this is always going to be this one letter, which is the bati of our letters, a little friend we call chet. Chet, which is used at the end of a word, and the end of any noun whatsoever, or any word you find that has chet at the end. If you see the ah underneath it, we don't say ha. This is the only exception to the rule. We actually say ah. We pronounce the vowel before we pronounce the consonant. And so this is, for example, like what we would do if we were to say n. In this case, we have the vowels on top, not on the bottom, so we're going from here upward. We would say no, and then we go from here, no, nun, oh, no, and then we go from here. We would not go down into the vowel, we go up to the consonant. Ah, no, ah. And that's how we would pronounce it. We would pronounce the ah and then the chet. And this is the only letter that's ever used in this way. We don't have any other exceptions that happen to be this way. So when we find chet, always remember that chet is going to be the sound that's last if it's last in the word. If it's the last letter in the word, the chet is going to be the last sound. The vowel will be the first sound. So ah is how we will pronounce it. So I hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and I hope you enjoy learning about vowels. They're very important. If you go to watch the video that I made that goes over how you make the sounds of the actual consonants, you can actually practice doing b, v, k. And here we're learning how to just simply understand the sounds of the vowels. Next lesson, we're going to take every single consonant in Hebrew, and we'll do it one lesson at a time, and we will literally go through the 22 letters, and we will show you how to pronounce each letter with its vowel. We'll see you next time.